Hey everybody, today I'm going to show you how to make garlic croutons. This is a real easy recipe. All you need is some thick cut bread. I've got some thick cut Italian bread. It's also sold as Texas toast in some places. And you need some garlic butter. You can use store-bought. I'm using my own homemade that I have here. And if you haven't seen the recipe, here's the link. And you need a baking sheet and a cutting board and a knife. So preheat the oven to 350 and start a few slices in. I don't like to use the end bits for this. And just cut as close to the edge as you can to get the edges off without losing too much bread. By all means, save the trimmings to make breadcrumbs or feed the birds or whatever you want to do with it. Nice part about making your own croutons is you can size them up however you want. These will shrink a little in the oven, not too much, and I do like them fairly large. So I'm going to cut this into thirds this way. Now, once I've got the first slice started, I do cover it to make sure that the bread doesn't move. And then I'll just do the other bit like that too. So cut into the first slice and put your hand over it. Obviously keep your thumb out of the way, alright? And just flatten those out like that. Line them up. And holding down the bread, just carefully cut across, making rough cubes. So those 4 little slices of bread made all these croutons, which is probably how much you'd get in a bag at the store for like $3.50 or something. The pan's not quite full, so I will do 2 more slices. Well, here's the last 2 slices trimmed here. One thing I did not mention, should be self-evident, be very, very gentle when you slice this and patient, because if you jam the cubes down together, they will not absorb the butter as well, and you'll get tough croutons instead of nice light ones. So let's just add these to the other ones. Stretch them out a little, see where we are. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, so that was 6 slices of bread to make a full pan. And a bag like this at the store with the quality of the garlic butter is going to be at least, yeah, $3-4, no problem. So I've scooped out a few tablespoons of the garlic butter. That's looking to be about 1/4 cup, which should just be about enough. I don't want to melt too much at once, because once it's melted you don't put it back in the container. So you're better actually to melt smaller quantities and just see where you are. This, I'll just do it in the microwave till it's melted. Probably shouldn't take more than 20-30 seconds. So there's half a minute. I'm using my pastry brush here just to stir up the last little bits that haven't melted. Now, if you don't have a pastry brush, yes, by all means, just use a teaspoon and drizzle it over. You don't have to worry about it spilling on this, because anything that goes onto the baking pan will get soaked up by the croutons on the side during the process, so none to worry. So just liberally start spreading that over top of the bread. Again, this is a matter of taste. Some people like croutons that are lightly buttered, some people like really heavy amounts. So just do whatever you like. I like it somewhere in the middle. And when it does get down to the bottom where it gets difficult to get it out, I'll just drizzle that, what's left here, on top. And then just move them around so that they soak up any bits that are already on the baking sheet. Okay, so I got a spatula here, And what I'm doing is I'm just tossing them around the baking sheet before I start, so that any bits of garlic butter that had spilled onto the pan will get picked up by the bread before we even start. Now the oven's on at 350. I will put these in for 4 minutes and then pull them out, take a look at them. If they're looking dry and sad, I will put a bit more butter, but if they're looking reasonable, we'll just stick with what we've got. The alarm just went off on my phone, so I'm going to haul these out here, take a look at them. Now I will give you guys a zoom so you can see. Yeah, that is looking to be just about the right amount of butter. You can see there are a few melted bits over here. So you're just going to move the croutons around with a spatula to mop up any stray butter that is on the sheet. That's just a nice amount. Any more than that would be too greasy, I think. Some people, I'm sure, will disagree with me, and it's your recipe, so do what you want. And it's hard to tell, but might be able to see that some of the ones on the downside that got flipped are getting a little firm, like right there. This is another 4 more minutes. And we'll flip them again. Now, hopefully the sound on this is good enough that you can hear the croutons. That means they're getting nice and crispy. So this is at 12 minutes. And yeah, these are cooked now, but they're not quite toasty. So this again is really where we enter into the range of personal preference. I am going to give these another 4 minutes because I want to see them get a little browner. I want to see them the color of the breadcrumbs over there. Okay. Now, if you like yours lightly toasted, just take them out right now. It's all on you. Let's take a look. Yeah, you can hear them drop. They're dry and cooked. And that's one thing I didn't say at the beginning. You know, depending on the freshness of the bread you have, depending on how much butter you've got, depending on your altitude above sea level, all kinds of factors, the baking time will vary from location to location, which is why I'm just advising you that you cook these in 4-minute bursts with checking. So these have been in total 16 minutes. As you can see, they're lightly browned all over. They got a really good dry sound. If you wanted them darker than this, I would be very cautious and check them literally every minute or two, because once they reach this point, they can burn pretty quick. So there's my garlic croutons. Easy to put together, pretty fast to do. And as usual, thank you for watching, and I do hope to see you again.